As hairdressers, we all understand why it is important to have an established core of classic haircuts that work across all lengths and textures. With this in mind, Toni and Guy created the original Classic Cuts video collection. This has played a major part in the educational program that has helped establish our worldwide reputation. At Toni and Guy, we are constantly inspired by contemporary fashion trends and reflect these in our annual collections. Now we have also revised our basic techniques and present a second collection of classic cuts, which, as well as updating the original cuts, have added a men's collection and a guide to personalizing techniques. This collection of videos and the accompanying step-by-step book will provide you with a solid foundation in the skills of modern haircutting and color. Classic Cuts 2 from Toni and Guy.
The forward graduation technique is a combination of the one-length cutting technique in the back and face framing graduation at the front. The one-length line is cut using the one-length cutting technique, which can be viewed on tape 1 of this series. But to briefly recap the one-length technique, partings and sections move from a profile into a diagonal forward, into horseshoe. The distribution moves from natural fall into over-directed. Elevation is 0 degrees, held in the comb, and the line is cut square. Having established the profile parting, a diagonal back section is taken from the profile to the top of the ear, approximately 1 inch in from the front hairline, depending on the depth of the recession area. With the head upright, the section is combed T to the parting using the fine teeth of the comb. The section is elevated to 45 degrees away from the face. The line is cut visually from the lowest point of the perimeter up to the lip or jaw level, depending on what's most suitable for the face shape. This method on the opposite side. Check the balance from the front and behind the head. A diagonal back section is taken using the initial parting as a pivot. The section extends behind the ear to the nape. With the head upright, the section is combed T to the parting using the wide teeth of the comb and elevated to the stationary 45-degree guideline. The line is cut to follow the guide from the baseline up. Continue with pivoting diagonal back sections. The width of the section is dependent on hair density. The denser the hair, the finer the section. Always combing T to the parting. The elevation is stationary, at 45 degrees away from the face, cutting to follow the guideline. Section is taken when the profile parting is reached. Repeat exactly the same method on the opposite side. Taking a diagonal back section, combing T to the parting, elevating to 45 degrees away from the face, and cutting visually from the baseline up. is now ready for blow drying. Power dry first to remove excess moisture. Then, using the same sectioning pattern as for the cut, use a flat brush in the back and a round brush in the front. Here we have applied the OXO colouring technique, which can be viewed on our classic colouring series. The shape is checked visually both behind and in front of the shoulders. Forward graduation recap. Partings and sections move from a profile into diagonal back, into pivoting diagonal back. Distribution is T to the parting. Elevation is a stationary 45 degrees. The line is cut visually from the baseline up. Personalising is an essential part of the Toni & Guy philosophy. Texturising techniques are used to adapt classic shapes to suit the individual. On the last video in this series, we introduced techniques such as point cutting, slicing, brick cutting and razoring, which expand the classic portfolio to accommodate all lengths and textures of hair and allow the stylist to develop their creativity for the benefit of the client.